And on the couch here with us, we have Dan Meyer, the president of the chamber here in Boone. Thank you so much for being here.
Always good to be here.
And you have a special guest.
I do. Sally Acito, who is a local young entrepreneur who has a business called Sally B Design,
yes,
who does computer graphics and that type of thing. Mm-hmm. In fact, we sat down this morning and Sally's redoing our website, and it is going to be amazing.
Great.
We're really excited about that. And she has an office right there at the right in the chamber.
Okay.
So she's very handy. I can just yell down the hall, Sally, change this. And but one of the things that any membership organization needs to be concerned about, must be concerned about if they want to survive, is how do we get the next generation involved in that organization. My generation was a generation of joiners. Boomers get involved in all kinds of things. Now, that's not to say that young people aren't involved. They involve themselves differently. So if we want the young professional, if we're looking for the 30, 40 something, or 20, 30, 40 something, to get involved, we have to be sure that we're relevant to what they do. And we have to learn from them how to communicate, because y'all communicate a whole lot different than we do. We're into FaceTime and you're into Facebook. There is a big difference in those two things. And so what happened is we have a program called the Watauga Leadership Challenge. Every year we have a class. We shared about that, I think, a couple months ago. Mm-hmm. And about 3 or 4 years ago, it's been that long?
2009 is when
2009
the Young Professionals
already
was started.
3 or 4 of the members of that class said, we need something for young professionals. And so they got together and they started a young professionals organization. And we wanted to do that. The chamber wanted to do that for 2 reasons. Number one, if somebody is here locally, we want to see them involved in a network of cohorts that will kind of tie them to this place, so that we don't have a brain drain. We don't have people that come up through the process here, learn, know the area and all that, and then boom, they go. At something that kind of ties them to the community. And second, if a company is recruiting somebody, what a great recruiting device to know that, hey, Boone has a young professionals group, so we have some instant business and social networking available. So with that, it was kicked off, and it's been growing. And this year, Sally is the president of the High Country, or excuse me, I got to change. There is a name change here, and that's good. Yeah. Young Professionals of the High Country.
The Young
Boone.
Professionals of Boone.
So tell us a little bit about the organization. What do you do for your members, and how can people get involved?
Well, like you said, Dan, we're a group of young adults here in the area that are, professional young adults, and we wanted a place for us to get together and network with each other. So one of our events that we do every month is called a 501, and it's a social networking event. Everybody comes, you bring your business card, and you mingle and meet and greet with other local young professionals in the area. It's a great place to meet people and let people know about your business or where you're working and that sort of thing. We also have professional development events throughout the year. Those are things like we might have a speaker that comes to talk about HR or personal relations, public relations, leadership, that sort of thing. But our monthly event is the 501. That's something that people look forward to all the time, and I see people passing business cards all the time and making connections and just growing our network, which is important for us here in the High Country. Like you were kind of mentioning, we feel like we're the future leaders. Our generation is the up and coming leadership of this area, and we want to kind of continue to grow our network and make a strong presence here.
So in doing that, you not just meet people for social purposes, but for professional purposes. Absolutely. And for professional growth.
Absolutely.
You get to share transferable information and concepts. Mm-hmm. Something that you might be doing in your business might be a benefit to one of the folks that's there.
For sure.
So it really, your 501 is kind of a parallel to the business after hours
It absolutely is.
that the chamber does.
For sure.
And what's some of the best things that you've experienced as a result of being involved with the Young Professionals Group?
I have really enjoyed seeing our network kind of form. At these events that we have, I like to sit back and look at the different groups and the different people that I've met along the way that are now meeting each other and sharing business and sharing ideas and that sort of thing. I love it. It's working. Our network is growing.
I see a couple people
Yeah, you guys should join us.
that ought to be a part of that.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
Our next event is coming up July 11th. We're having a cookout at Twin River Shopping Center, where Creekside Electronics and Nordic PC are. So that'll be our next 501. So we're having a cookout. You guys should join us.
Yeah, we should try that.
Young professionals.
Exactly. And what's a young professional?
20-something, 30-something, but we don't discriminate. If you feel young enough to come, we'd love to have you.
That's to allow a stray boomer to come in every once in a while like
Right.
this, right?
Yeah, I do some networking with chambers after hours.
Sure.
So I come to those. And I enjoy them. Networking is a good thing now. I mean, that's really the big thing of getting your name out there, letting you sharing your information and letting them tell you what they do. So.
Even though the older generation really believes in FaceTime, and some of y'all do maybe focus more on the Facebook, it is so important to identify a person with that business. Now, we can do a lot of things on the internet, but to know that here's Boone Drug, or here's MTN 18, and all of a sudden when they think of that entity or of that service, boom, there's a person that they can identify with. And that's so important in developing business contacts and connections, so that it really amplifies your business opportunities. And so we're really tickled that Sally has stepped up to that, because this is the generation. In a sense, you all are not just the future leaders. They're the ones stepping into it right now. And because so many of the boomers are stepping out of leadership positions. The other thing I think that's really important about young professionals is that they do latch on to things that they're passionate about. So many of your young professionals are serving on some of the nonprofit boards.
Yep, we have a lot of people that are very involved.
Yeah, and get involved. Hopefully, we'll get involved in politics. We'll get involved in public issues, public affairs issues, and so it's really kind of a training. If I hate to use it that way, but it is. It's a training and an introduction to really taking off and taking hold of leadership in the future. So we're real tickled that to have the Young Professionals Group and to have Sally leading it. She's a champion for them. And online, you can go to what?
youngprofessionalsofboone.com. And you can also find us on Facebook, but you can find all our social media on our website. We've got a contact form if you have any questions. So youngprofessionalsofboone.com.
And the cost of membership?
Membership is free right now, so it's a great time to come just check us out, see what we're all about. So
that's great.
Yeah.
That's great. We're glad to have Sally up close with us and working on our website and have her involved in Young Professionals. And let me just tell you one other thing of interest to our folks here in the High Country. App State is putting on quite an array of athletic camps this summer. So if that's something y'all are interested in, go to camps.appstate.edu. And they have camps running all the way literally through October.
Oh, wow.
For baseball camps. And if you've got an up-and-coming baseball player, do that. And again, camps.appstate.edu on the website. So
They always have a good little variety of camps every year. Really good ones, too.
right, and there are other camps going on in the area. There are tournaments that are coming to the High Country, soccer tournaments, baseball tournaments, all those kind of things. So if you have a youngster involved in them, encourage you to find out what's available and get them plugged in. So
Wonderful.
All right.
appreciate the opportunity to be here and
Yes,
introduce
thank you.
Sally
Thank you
to
very
folks
much.
and Young Professionals of Boone. And
Yeah.
maybe you'll get some immediate feedback.
Yeah, I look
We'll
forward
see-
to
we'll see
meeting
that.
anybody who's interested.
Absolutely. Definitely something to check out. Remind us the website one more time.
Youngprofessionalsofboone.com.
Perfect. We'll definitely check it out. Thank you guys so much for being with us
you.
today. And we will be back in just a moment with more MTN Channel 18.